But, you know, we've fed a lot of people in the meantime and helped a lot of people in the meantime. Look, even if you disagree with me on economic policies, don't criticize where I'm coming from on this. I want to help people, right? I want to, well, first of all, they stop the poison or whatever. And, you know, basic regulations. You know, if I buy, like, a clock or something, you know, I should hope this clock is not explosive or whatever, right? Basic regulations, that makes sense. You know, like, it's bad for business. Well, yeah, business is getting around okay. You know, government can help. Government, you know, or here's another one for free market. How about the healthcare system we currently have? It's a free market healthcare system. And it's incredibly expensive and cutthroat, and they do all things with denying you in 1,000 different ways, and, you know, and it works much better in the UK. I'll do a video on that pretty soon, I guess. On the other hand, of course, the market has given us a zillion other things we use. The market created this webcam I'm using right now. You know, the market created, well, my computers and, you know, lots of the internet structure. And a lot of, I mean, that was originally a government project, but, you know, it grew. It's not government-owned anymore or anything. It's everybody all connected together. You know, I'm saying there are limits here. There are, you know... And as for government programs, look, I'm just trying to help people. You know, as I said in my welfare video, look, if you think that welfare isn't working, fine. But what else are we going to do to help the poor? What else are we, you know... Sometimes the best thing I can think of is a government program, at least in the short run. Because no one else seems to be taking care of yada yada issue, right? And yes, government programs can be very wasteful. Well, we can make them less wasteful. You know, pay a little more attention to these things and make it better. So, I only covered point 1 so far. This is going to be a long video. Point 2. They have a dim view of religion and religious values and scoff at those who utter them. Okay, who came up with that? I don't know where this came from. But it's all over the place. I've always heard it. That somehow only the conservatives have religion. The rest of us are just like... atheists or something. Or like gay atheists, terrorists, Marxists, you know, whatever. Sheesh, guys. Calm down. Obviously, I don't want to criticize all conservatives in one sweep. I'm just this person who wrote this letter to the paper right here. What the heck? We have freaking... the vast majority of liberals are religious. Look it up. Because it's some like 2% of the population or whatever, at least in America, that's atheist. So they couldn't physically be most of the liberals. I mean, religious values, guys. Religious values motivate much of our positions, and they motivate many of your positions. I'm sure. I have disagreements on this. You know, I don't know. There's this idea of like there's the Christian right. You know, right as in conservatives. And people always talk about the Christian right, as if Christ was on the right, all the time, on every issue. Like, there's a Christian left, too, you know. There are plenty of Christian liberals. But somehow, we got this idea that there aren't any. They're all on the right. They're all on the non-welfare side of it. I mean, there's a button issue for you. Guys, of the two parties... which one more favors welfare? Giving money to the poor. That would be the liberal side. That would be the Democrats. Okay. In Christianity, what does Christ favor with regards to giving money to the poor? That's right, he gave money to the poor. Now, you can argue that Christ was private donations, and it wasn't a government deal, and it wasn't, you know, or the welfare system is broken for other reasons. Okay, maybe it's broken. I don't know. You know, there's certainly problems with it. It's not perfect. But dag nabbit! Here we are, trying to help the poor out, giving them money, or giving them better education, or give them something. And we're told this, like, that we're not Christian. Or we're not religious. That's what this says here. So it was religious, because, you know, because Muslims can give money to the poor, too, and Jews and Hindus and Buddhists and all that. I mean, it's a pretty common thing among religions. You know... But somehow it doesn't count when the government does it, or when liberals do it, but when, you know... I don't get that. it's like this idea that's just all over the place, and people are like, no, but we believe in moral values as conservatives. We believe, you know, we believe in moral values too, guys. I don't look. I'm religious. I'm a Christian. You know, I don't look down on that, but like, look, they have a dim view of religion and religious values and scoff at those who utter them. You know, I think that the liberal politicians, thanks to the aforementioned ideas floating around that I just talked about, have stopped mentioning religion so much. They don't bring it up as much. But that doesn't mean they're not religious. You know, maybe they just, you know, that, I don't know, they're going for more religious tolerance, you know, and equality and stuff. And so they hesitate to, like, quote Christ or whoever, because that would offend all the non-Christians. And, you know, I think we hesitate maybe a little too much. I, for one, wouldn't really care if somebody quotes, you know, Muhammad or whatever, right? I mean, so long as I agree with the quotation. I suppose it depends on what he's saying at the moment. But in general, yeah, you can quote him. That's fine. And so it should be fine for us to, you know, make religious references once in a while. Come on. You know, it's not that weird. Well, these conservatives, I don't know. Look, very important. I'm sure there are ridiculous liberal people who say similar things about conservatives. I just don't happen to be as well acquainted with those people because I'm generally liberal-leaning, and so I just hear all this anti-liberal stuff more so than I hear crazy anti-conservative stuff. You know, but I have heard a couple things. Like, oh, the conservatives, you know, it's all this big plot just to funnel all their money into big businesses and, you know, make the rich richer, and, you know, you know, the tax cut policies can make the rich richer, but that doesn't mean it's the whole point of the whole conservative movement. You know, I respect them on various other things. They're pro-life. I mentioned that earlier. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I can see why they'd want to cut government programs in the sense of the government being too wasteful. They believe that, oh, okay, you know, try to be reasonable. But I hate it when people are not reasonable. See my The Earth is Round video. And my Phantoms of the Mind video. Those all apply. Okay, point 3. These points are getting crazier as we go. At least up to the third one. They don't want us to win the war on terror and constantly undermine the efforts of our commander-in-chief to do so. Victory, they believe, would only make President Bush look good, and they can't have that. We are all the more in danger, and ultimate victory is thus prolonged. I am so sick of that. Whom the freak came up with the idea that the liberals don't want to win the war on terror? What the freak do you think we want? To lose the war on terror? Is that what you think? Is that what... Do you... Look, you wanna disagree on how we're going about the war on terror? You wanna Oh, okay, we can disagree on methods, and if you think Iraq was worth it, and I disagree with you, and see my video on that. And, you know, but dag nabbit. Here's the phrasing. They don't want us to win the war on terror. They, referring to liberals. So I suppose if we don't want to win the war on terror, we must want to lose the war on terror instead. And therefore, we must be terrorists. Is that what you're calling us? We're freaking terrorists? Do you honestly think that we desire for Americans to die? Or whatever the terrorists may be planning, right? Do you honestly think, liberals, that anybody aside from Osama himself wakes up each day and says, hey, how can I screw over America today? How can I make it so people die? I don't want to win the war on terror. I want us all just get slaughtered by the enemy. But holy crap, who comes up with that?